into the mystery unfolding. Where the flow of breath will take into the present. May it light up the water. May the love of God unfold. May the holy, holy, holy bring your past back into the fold. May the whole action calendar with the miracle of life. May the sacred guide and ground us through the deepest, darkest night. May the darkness cause the truth of what really is. Oh, my outer hero, inner angel, sing your song out loud and clear. Listen, people, to a story has no beginning, has no end. It's a simple story of the ways a heart can mend. On the mountain, in the desert, in the city, in the cave. The twilight brings bright blessings to the pleasant and the brave. Are you willing? Are you willing? Will you come along? As together we come to stillness, as we gather here to pray. Lift our bodies up the spirit into the mystery unfolding here, where the flow of love will take us into the present, into the present, into the present. When you sing a Rudy sing-along song, it teaches itself. My theory is if you have to put the words on the screen, it's not really a sing-along song. But up the spirit into the mystery unfolding here, where the flow of love will take us into the presence very clear. May the light of love surround us, may the love of God unfold, may the holy, holy, holy bring our hearts back into the whole. May the whole love says 14. but find up the spirit into the mystery unfolding. Where the flow of breath will take into the present miracle. May the light of love surround us. May the love of God unfold. May the holy, holy, holy bring our hearts back into the fold. May the holy light surround us with the miracle of light. May the secret guarding down us through the deepest, darkest night. May the darkness come the feeling of what really hopes are feeling. Outer heroes, inner angels, sing your song out loud and free. Into the breath, into the breath. Check. Check. Check.
And welcome everyone to Unity of New Braunfels. I want to start out by introducing our guest speaker today, Rick Busby, who is a licensed Unity teacher from Unity Church of the Hills up in Austin. You'll remember him as being one of our periodic guest musicians as well. So welcome, Rick, and we're glad to have you here. I'm going to turn it over to Rudy for our opening song.
Good morning. As we prepare to focus on our oneness in love with Rick a little bit later on, sing Weave Us Together. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from the other. But we are twined with one another in one great tapestry. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. We are different instruments playing our own melodies, each one tuning to a different key. But we are all playing in harmony in one great symphony. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love. A moment ago, we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in peace, the Christ in one great family. Weave us together, weave us together, unity and love. Weave us together, weave us together, together in love.
Good morning. I am Steve Cleverly. I am your prayer chaplain today. And before we go into the opening prayer, I'm going to set an apology to all of you here and all of you out there watching this screen. It's my first time on the button. So if you get a little seasick, I'm the captain. Okay, if we can just kind of center ourselves in that divine, loving place in us where your God dwells. And I trust that these words will be accepted as your words also. I am the presence of pure being, emanating the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am all that God is expressing at the point of me. As I express divine wisdom, all thoughts of mortal limitations have no power over me. I am the substance and power of pure love, bringing into manifestation my world according to divine law. And I set these out as divine truth into the universe, and so it is said, so it is done. Amen. Okay, if we can, I do not have the long statement that Gary normally reads. It was not up here, so we're having the shorter version. And the shorter version is, we are going to repeat together our primary affirmation together. There is only one presence, one power, active in my life and in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. That is so powerful. Okay, today's word of the day is release. And the affirmation is, releasing the past, I make room for the future. Can we repeat that together? Releasing the past, I make room for the future. My life experiences have provided me with many gifts, from joyous to painful. I have taken something from each one, a nugget of wisdom, understanding, solace, that has helped me evolve into the person I am today. I am always growing, always changing. With gratitude, I receive the blessings while letting the painful memories go. I have no room for regret and do not dwell on things I have no power to change. As I release unwanted thoughts and unpleasant memories, I free myself to enjoy new experiences and create beautiful, lasting memories. With an uncluttered mind and an unburdened heart, I embrace the present moment and eagerly create my bright, beautiful future. And Ecclesiastes 3, verse 6 states, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away. Again, our affirmation 2 more times together. Releasing the past, I make room for the future. Releasing the past, I make room for the future. Okay, if you've got cell phones, watches, anything else that can make noise, please turn it off. And we will, it will, as Gary says, it will get his messages as we get ours from Rick today. Okay, if we can share our vision, and that is together, a world powerfully transformed through a growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
And our core value for today is empowering. And repeat the affirmation together. I am empowered with the energy and strength of spirit. All right, here are our current safety protocols. Nothing has changed. It's been the same for quite a while now. I'm not going to read each one individually, but just take a moment and scan over them and remind yourself of what we're doing.
I just want to read number 3. Hugging and handshakes are okay. Okay, our food drive continues, and if you walked in the door and looked at that basket, that barrel, we need a bigger boat. It is well overflowing. So we thank you, the food bank thanks you, and just keep it coming because it's all going to a good cause.
We have Family Promise coming up pretty quickly, and our host families will be here Sunday, August 28th through Sunday, September 4th. And there are a few openings left for volunteers, I believe sleepovers. I think the food is already all filled, but we could use your help. Thank you.
Okay, we have a sacred service opportunity. Now, don't all of you rush to this at one time, but we do have a spot for a facilities coordinator. And it is not somebody who's going to be doing all the work, it's somebody who's going to help coordinate the work, manage the maintenance, and direct issues to the teams that will be assisting you as a facilities coordinator. And at this moment, I would like to invite our board president, Christopher Dean, up for one more announcement.
Thank you. I just wanted to come up and let you guys know that next Sunday after service at 4 o'clock, we'll be having a town hall meeting. This meeting is just as far as transparency goes. The board has some things that we'd like to share with you. And we'd like to have a forum for you guys to ask questions to us. So that will be next Sunday, at 4 p.m. So on Zoom, so anybody is welcome to come. Zoom land, please join us. Thank you.
Christopher, thank you.
For the month of August, the word from the 12 powers of man is will. The color is silver. The disciple is Matthew. Location is the front of the brain. The decision-making, directing, choosing, and determining faculty of the mind.
Okay, see, I told you, you're going to get seasick with this. Okay, August 1st, come on, here we go, is Lammas. It is a Wiccan festival marking the beginning of the harvest season.
I'm going to butcher this one. Tisha B'Av is Jewish, and it's a time that has traditionally been observed as a period of mourning for the destruction of Jerusalem and the Holy Temple there.
And on August 8th, Ashura, a Muslim holiday, is a time for fasting to show gratitude for the victory God gave to Moses. It commemorates the day when Allah created a path in the Red Sea and saved Moses and his followers.
Now I get another one. Rasha Bandhan is Hindu, and it provides an opportunity for brothers and sisters to celebrate their affection and to do everything for each other.
I'm going to have to thank Gary. He gave me all the easy ones. August 15th, not only is the birthday of my youngest son, but it is also the Assumption of Mary. This Christian feast day commemorates Mary's death and her assumption into heaven. Oh, see, I told you. Here we go. All right. We are going to be enjoying music from Rudy Hart's Oneness by Carmen Mosher. And if you would like, please join in. I know Rudy would like to hear your voices too, or maybe not.
We're celebrating oneness by singing our oneness. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I now let go. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. Got the melody now. Let's repeat that first verse. Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead and click it back quiet. Make a C second a little further. Let's celebrate our oneness by singing our oneness. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I now let go. I now let go. There's nothing to fear. I realize there's only one power. 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 I realize as if you meant it, and as if singing it as if you meant it made a difference in the world. I believe it truly does. From the inside out, be singing together. I realize. I realize I'm one with the one. I realize I'm one with the one. I realize I'm one with the one. I realize I'm one with the one.
There we go. There we go. Good morning, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be with you guys today. I want to thank Reverend Gary for asking me to substitute while he's off doing a vacation thing, I think, right? He's just off playing. Is he just off playing, or is he just playing? Well, let's just bless him on his journey. And once again, like I said, I'm very grateful to be asked to substitute for him today. Over the last month or so, I've been the topic that I'm going to be talking about today. I've been talking about it almost every Sunday except one where there was already something in place for that particular one. And the issue is around basically oneness. Okay, the title for today is called One Love. But 2 weeks ago it was One is the Holiest Number. That was the title of it 2 weeks ago. And it could be called One Power, One Presence. It could also just be simply called One. Because really the idea that I want to explore here with you today is something that's been going on in my consciousness and trying to do the best that I can do to cultivate a language and a way of communicating that does my best to stay away from the dualism that we've kind of grown up with. Right? We were born into a world that's still perceived as duality, right? But here in Unity, we don't teach that. We don't believe that. Our first principle, as you know, is there's only one power, one presence active in my life and in the universe. We call that power and presence God. Goes by many names. And importantly, we say the good. Right? God the good. We don't say, unity principle number 2 doesn't say, oh, and by the way, there's an opposing power, and it looks like this. We don't have a second principle. We only have that one principle. One power, one presence active in my life and everywhere else. And we call that power God, and we say that it's good. I notice that the affirmation adds the word omnipotent. One of the things that we parsed out in going through our LUT studies and everything with up at Unity Village was the idea that when we ascribe a word like omnipotent to God, that we are in fact personifying God. So we say, here's God, this personified person, and we attribute to God that God is omnipotent. But at the level of principle, we have to go beyond that word omnipotent to the word omnipotence. God is not all-powerful. God is, in fact, all power itself. That one power, one presence. So God is not necessarily omnipotent, but more deeply at the fundamental level of principle that God is power itself, omnipotence. We also express that God is also omniscience, all knowledge, not omniscient, all-knowing, but omniscience, all knowledge. And of course, we are all familiar with the omnipresence idea. God is not omnipresent, because then God would be a thing, a body, so to speak, that was present. God is omnipresent, all presence, everywhere present. And that's what we actually teach and believe in Unity, and especially around Unity Principle number 1, right? So at the level of Unity Principle number 1, we're going to call that reality, capital R, reality. That the reality that we have our life, our being, and that we're moving through is that one power, one presence principle. That is the capital R reality that we are in, right? From that power and presence, unity principle number 2 says that we are created in the image and likeness of this power and present, right? So if God is omniscience, if God is omnipresence, if God is omnipotence, and I and you are created in the image and likeness of God, then we too are those qualities in potential. And I stress the word in potential because we all probably know by this point in our lives and everything that we all kind of woefully fall short of the perfect expression of the Christ in ourselves at all times, in all situations, throughout the course of our life. We have plenty of experience probably of falling short. I'm sure that I'm probably falling short right now in this moment here with you right now. So we get to that place to where we can acknowledge that there's this unlimited divine creative potential and that we are created from that. We are that. We are created in the image and likeness, and we are that. And that's our second principle. So that's our identity, right? That's our spiritual divine identity, that we are created in this image and likeness of God the good. So at our foundational level, we too are good. We too are potentially all powerful, okay? So we have to accepting that and expressing that, it can take your breath away. Like I remember when I was working my way through the Course of Miracles for the first couple of years, this is back in the mid to late 90s when I first started working with it, and one of the lessons that you have to try on, and for those of y'all that have done a Course in Miracles, you'll know, and if you haven't, like there's daily lessons. So you get a little affirmation, and they kind of explore that intellectually like a textbook. They give you a challenge for the day, like something, here's some practice, right? Here's what you can do today to practice this idea. And one of the lessons, as I was moving through that thing, the affirmation for the lesson was, I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. I was like, oh, okay. So I had to try that on, right? So really affirm that for yourself. I am the light of the world. And I started thinking to myself, if that's true, then we're in trouble. And the reason why that came up for me as a thought was because at the time that I was doing that study, at the time I was working my way through that, I didn't fully believe, that I was created in the image and likeness of God. That was a gradual process of moving through this, and maybe even today, speaking about this out loud, that's still part of the process. It's not something that I've mastered and now I just got the key to it. It's something that's an ongoing expression, because at any point in time I can choose in error and fall away from that identity. I can fall away from the awareness. I can either willfully or unintentionally suppress that awareness for a little while. And how do I know that I've suppressed that for a little while? How do I know I've disconnected myself from that? Because I start feeling not peace. I start feeling maybe guilty, or I have a little inner perfectionist. I don't know if anybody has that particular little manifestation. I have an inner perfectionist in me, and so anytime that I fall short of perfection, that inner perfectionist is just like berating me. I get palpable waves of anxiety sometimes, like just to have made a mistake. It's ancient in me. I came kind of hardwired into it. So you have to stare that down and say, oh no, I'm not this person who screwed up here that my little inner perfectionist is trying to remind me of. Oh, I am a divine being. And I have to choose again. This is the strategy that Course in Miracles teaches over and over and over, is that if I am not at peace for any reason, if I'm not at peace it doesn't really matter what it is. If I'm not at peace for any reason, I have chosen wrongly. I have just chosen wrongly. I am not seeing things clearly. And if I want to be at peace, if I want to restore the conditions so that I can experience peace, I must choose again. And the whole, for those of y'all that have seen the Course in Miracles, there's about 670 pages of text, and about 670 pages of text that distills down to those two words. Choose again. Choose again. If you're not at peace, you have chosen wrongly. You're not seeing it right. Be willing to have your vision corrected so that you can be at peace. So choose again. What are we choosing between? This is super, super helpful. This was super helpful for me. All I'm doing all day long, no matter what I'm doing, I'm choosing between love and fear. Love and fear. Love and fear. Over and over, thousands of times a day over the course of my lifetime. That's in fact what we are all doing. When we choose love, we are choosing from that awareness and that connection to that divine identity that we are. We are choosing from that indwelling Christ presence. That same Christ that resides in me, that resides in you, is the same Christ presence that resided in Jesus. It is the template. It's our connection to source. And what's at the top of that source is the one love that we're talking about here today. We've heard that before, right? God is, and then we start putting things on him, and one of the most popular is God is love. Well, if God is love, and I'm creating the image and likeness of God, then I too am love in potential. And I stress that word in potential because we play small. I play small. Like no matter, we're always being called forward. And like I've said, is that we can never actually achieve an unlimited potential. If you think about that, like really own that. Like, wow, I have unlimited potential, creative power, unlimited potential. Well, if it's unlimited, right? And if it's unlimited, I can never actually fully achieve my potential. So that really quiets down that little inner perfectionist I was talking about. I mean, he goes like, dude, I don't have to be perfect, you know? Like I can choose again, I can recalibrate, right? So if I'm calibrating all day long between love and fear, and I woefully fall short of the glory every day, humbled by the fact that I don't choose love every single time. If anybody has figured that out, don't y'all come join me up here, and let me turn the microphone over to you, because choosing love, being good at choosing love consistently is good enough, because the power of love is exponentially greater than the force of fear. Love casts out fear. Y'all have heard that one before, right? Love casts out fear. Perfect love casts out fear. That's right. But it's the one love. Of course, miracles, we'll get to in a moment here. One of the ideas that it talks about is that every act of love, all acts of love, are maximal. And what it means by that is that every expression of love is a 10 on a 10 scale, right? It's not, there's not degrees, like we'd love the people closest to us a 10, and the people we work with maybe an 8, and the loud neighbors we down at a 4. No, it's like all acts of love are maximal. So if I'm expressing and allowing that love to express through me, then I'm basically doing the best that I can do, being willing to do that, right? So I want to read something here. This comes from Charles. This is what Charles Fillmore says about love. And I pulled these two quotes from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. But if y'all have seen that before, the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary is just sort of a compendium of things that Charles wrote in other places, and they put them and organize them in here. So the two things I want to bring into our discussion, it's the pure essence of being. That love is the pure essence of being that binds together the whole human family. Of all the attributes of God, love is undoubtedly the most beautiful. In divine mind, love is the power that joins. Charles also expresses the power of love as the harmonizing power, bringing everything back into accord and alignment. In reality, there is only one love. When man expresses divine love in limited ways, he makes a separation in consciousness, and his expression of love is personal instead of universal. Okay, so A Course in Miracles has this concept called special relationships. Actually, there's two parts. There's the holy relationship, and there's the special relationship. And the easy way to identify the special relationships are relationships in which I have assigned the meaning and purpose of the relationship. You mean this to me, and I've defined that relationship, and so I've got this relationship carved off from the oneness, and I'm attempting to express in limited ways, as Charles was saying there. So it's a special relationship. So if I want to reestablish a special relationship as a holy relationship, I must surrender the purpose of that relationship that I have assigned to the relationship over to Spirit, for Spirit to correct my vision and establish the true nature of the relationship. I wholly give this special relationship over for it to be redefined and repurposed for me so that I can see it in a new and holy way. So I'm surrendering my definition, and I'm allowing the divine to come in and establish the true purpose. That's when you've committed the relationship to a holy relationship. And the power that does that, the power that accomplishes that goal, is this one love we're talking about here today. It is the love. But I'm not the source of the love. I'm connected to the source, and I can allow the love to express through me. The source is that same thing as that omnipotence, that divine principle that's in play always, in all ways, right? And so we're created in that image and likeness, so that's our natural identity. Unity principle number 3 says we are co-creating reality. We are in co-creation with God the divine, co-creating this reality by the thoughts, feelings, and attitudes that we maintain in the activity of our own consciousness. So there's all kinds of stuff going on out here in the world. All of us see it. Let's say that we're all seeing the same event. We're all here and we're experiencing the same event. We won't all tell the story the same way because we're filtering that event through our own predispositions, through our own consciousness, through our own fears, through our own capacity for love, whatever the case may be. And each one of those expressions is like a fingerprint, right? But we are expressing, even though individually, we are expressing collectively in the same oneness, in the same unified field, because there is no other field, remember? Unity principle number 1, there's only one power and one presence active in the universe and in my life. Only one. And so whatever we're doing, we're all doing it together in that same oneness. And the source of love is the same. And love as a creative power is the same for all of us. But we're all moderating and, kind of expressing that at various kinds of levels and so forth. Levels of not only experience and knowledge, but also of personal willingness. A Course in Miracles makes a big deal about the little willingness. And one of the things that I've loved about A Course in Miracles when I was teaching it instead of it, and when I was moving through it as a student, was that it told me up front, hey, you don't need to believe any of this. You don't need to debate it. You don't need to believe it. You don't even need to understand it. What you do need to be willing to do is to put it into practice. And if you'll put it into practice, then your own direct experience will be all the proof that you need. No one will have to persuade you. So doing the lesson, doing the work, that's Unity principle number 5, isn't it, right? These first 4 principles, the one power, one presence. I'm created in the image and likeness. I'm co-creating, and I can connect with my source in silent meditation and affirmative prayer. Right, these are principles. But the 5th one is the one where we get into expression. We get into action. And if we don't act on the truths that we say we know, we don't get any results. Or we certainly won't get the results we want to get, right? We just want to kind of say we have the knowledge and go, oh, yeah, I believe that. But how do I embody it? How do I actually become a willing vessel for love to express through me? And that's the practical aspects. That's what I loved about A Course in Miracles. That's what I love about Unity principles. That's what I love about the 4 agreements even, is their practical application, their ability to put these in practice and to see the results for myself. That I'm not learning this from a book or having to believe something that somebody else said in a certain way. I can put it in the laboratory of my own experience. I am this one love. I can be this one love. I want to put these thoughts into your mindset as we're going here. We're talking about a lot about A Course in Miracles. And at the very beginning of A Course in Miracles, the very first chapter, the first section, it articulates 50 principles of miracles. And there's 50 of them, different little statements about the nature of miracles, what they look like, where they come from, etc. I'm just going to read the first three to put into our consciousness right here. The first one, there is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not harder or bigger than another. They are all the same. All expressions of love are maximal. I don't know if this battery is clicking in and out or what's going on here. So let me repeat that last part. They're all the same. All expressions of love are maximal. And I said that a few minutes ago, right? All expressions of love are maximal. The second one is this. Miracles as such do not matter. The only thing that matters is their source, which is far beyond evaluation. Now, have y'all ever heard it said before that sort of God is ineffable? Like we can get to a place to where we can explore it and we can talk about it, but we get to a place where it just goes beyond words. We don't have vocabulary to really get to what that feels like. That's that ineffable quality about what God is, and that's what that's talking about, this source which is far beyond evaluation. And the third one is this. Miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. The real miracle is the love that inspires them. In this sense, everything that comes from love is a miracle. It goes on to say that miracles are everywhere present, just like God, that omnipresence. Miracles are everywhere present. If you're not seeing miracles, it's not the evidence that the miracle is missing or not present. It's evidence that I'm not seeing correctly. And then as I correct my vision, then I see the miracles everywhere present. And all the miracles that I'm seeing are a maximal expression of love. The same one love that created all the universe, that created me, created you, the knowledge, the intelligence, the life power that is moving through us. That's what it is. We can never be separate from it. We can never be separated from it. It's here present, right? That's what we affirm every time we're here, isn't it? The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. It's everywhere present, right? We affirm that. How do we do on the embodiment of it, moving through our lives, expressing? Do we always remember that in all situations? Do we remember it? Here's a good one. This is maybe a test case. Maybe I'm in a special room and this won't apply, but we'll see. Anybody watch the media? Do we always remember when we're watching whatever media outlet we're watching and whatever story we're plugged into? Do we always remember that there's only one power and one presence? And everybody that our side is demonizing the other side, that there's no such thing as other in oneness? There's no such thing as one other in oneness. One love, one presence. I'm in it, you're in it. You know, and it's incumbent upon us to begin to be willing and conscious practitioners of that one love in all situations without exception. And once again, how do I know if I've made an exception? I'll know because my peace will be disturbed. Because I've attempted to separate off something that cannot be separated from me. And I'm getting exhausted by the effort. Right? It's impossible. I must surrender that and return back to the love. And at that level of love, when I'm expressing that one love, what is the consequence, the effect? Love is the cause, and the effect is empathy, compassion, forgiveness, gratitude, ultimately peace. Like peace is not a separate menu item on an a la carte menu. I'll have a little compassion and give me a bowl of love over here. Oh yeah, and I want a big old serving of peace. Like no, they're not separate a la carte menu items. All those other higher qualities, empathy, compassion, gratitude, forgiveness, peace, they are all the result of me choosing love. Or I better yet say, me choosing to allow love to express through me. Because I don't choose love, I am love. You don't choose love. You are love. And our work is to embody that as fully as we can. That's our work. I want to close with this another paragraph from A Course in Miracles. We're going to close with this and then kind of lead ourselves into meditation from here. This is in chapter 18 of the text of A Course in Miracles. And it says, love is not learned because there never was a time in which you knew it not. Learning is useless in the presence of your Creator, whose acknowledgement of you and yours of Him so far transcend all learning that everything you learned is meaningless. That when we affirm God's presence and we accept that God is affirming us in our lives, there is nothing else to learn. Everything beyond that is, as it says, meaningless. That's the most important thing that we can learn, is our connection to the divine. And this learning is meaningless, and it is replaced forever by the knowledge of love and its one meaning. And it goes on to say that the one meaning of love is life. And God is the giver of life. And so once we learn that one lesson, once we learn the one lesson of one love, there is nothing else to learn. What there is left to do is to practice. Is to make myself available, to put my willingness on the table, to allow that love to express through me, because it's what I was born for. It's what you were born for. And how do I know if I'm doing pretty good at that? I'm going to feel peace more of the time. Not more peace, because peace is peace. All acts of love are maximal. Y'all remember that? All acts of love are maximal. Peace is maximal as too. So I don't want more peace. I want peace more of the time in my life. I don't need more love. I need to allow love to express through me more of the time. I've got unlimited capacity for love. You have unlimited potential for the expression of love. So we don't need more. We need to allow it more. That's the one love that we're talking about here today. Is we're connected to it. It's there. We're of it. We are it. How well do we practice it? Y'all, any baseball fans? Any baseball fans? Yeah, okay. I'm a baseball fan. Y'all see the movie Bull Durham by any chance? Anybody see the movie Bull Durham? Got more people nodding to that? Okay, so there's a great scene in Bull Durham where Kevin Costner and Susan Sarandon are having a discussion, and Kevin Costner asked her, do you know what the difference between a 250 hitter and a 300 hitter is? Like batting average, 250. A 250 hitter is successful 1 out of 4 times, right? So 250 is average. Lots of hitters at 250. 300 hitter, the difference between a 250 hitter and a 300 hitter over the course of a season is 1 extra base hit a week. 1 extra base hit a week over the course of a full season, and you'll wind up a 300 hitter. That means that you succeed 30% of the time, but you fail 70% of the time. You're successful 30% of the time, but fail 70% of the time. But here's the real difference between a 250 hitter and a 300 hitter. A 300 hitter winds up in the Hall of Fame. That's the real difference. That 1 extra base hit a week. So can I get an extra base hit a week? Is that possible for me? I think so. I think I can get 1 extra base hit a week. I think I can choose love 1 more time a week over the course of the long season. And I improve my average. And because all acts of love are maximal, that means everywhere I go, there's maximum effects and consequences from that 1 extra base hit. So I want to leave you to think about that. We're going to go into meditation now. I think at the end we'll have a little time for sharing at the end here and talk about this. But for now, Rudy, is Rudy around? Where'd my meditation music guy go? Maybe he's not expecting me to finish this soon. Well, let's while we're waiting on Rudy, let's just kind of shake off everything I just said. Like, you don't need to remember it because you already know it. It's already hardwired into you. So just kind of Shake that off and resettle yourself in your space. If you have something in your lap, I invite you maybe just to lay it aside for just a moment, just to be with yourself, be fully present with yourself. And as you do this, take 2 or 3 good, long, centering, cleansing breaths. As you inhale, realize that you are inhaling that divine inspiration, that one power, that one presence, infusing the vitality in your body. Every exhale, you're releasing any resistance, any fears, any distractions, anything that would attempt to prevent you from being right here, right now. There is nothing here to do right now except just to be present with yourself. And as you settle into that awareness, drop your attention down into your heart space. Just allow the activity of your thinking and feeling mind, your consciousness to drop down into that heart space. That's the center, the universal center. That's the residing place of the indwelling Christ's presence in you. And that Christ's presence within you is connected directly to Source, directly to God. All power, all knowledge, all presence. It's connected right here with you. Anything you need to know is available. Any creative power that you need to express in your life is also available to you. If you have a problem that you need a solution to in your life, a relationship in disrepair, a health concern, a financial concern, whatever it may be, you don't even need to petition. You just simply need to ask that indwelling Christ, what do I need to do? What action do I need to take? And as we take that action, we take it in love and with love and express love in that action, whatever it may be. We know that our effects and consequences are maximal. The greatest good for the greatest number of people involved, including ourselves, especially ourselves. And so as we prepare for a few moments in the silence here to continue that communication with that indwelling Christ, we do so with open hearts, with willing minds. And we simply ask, Spirit within, what is mine to do today? In the silence. And as we begin to draw our attention back into the sanctuary, just linger for just a moment longer, feeling that connection with the indwelling Christ. And know that it goes with you wherever you are. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. We receive that. We also express that to ourselves and to others that we come into contact with. We allow ourselves to be willing vessels for the expression of the one love that animates and activates and holds together and harmonizes all life in the universe. And we are ever so grateful for this power, for this presence. We're ever so grateful that we are created in the image and likeness of that. So we say yes to being willing vessels to allow that one love to express through us. We're so grateful for the power. We're so grateful for the opportunity to express. And so we say thank you, thank you, thank you, living, loving Spirit. We pray all of this and more in the name and the nature of the indwelling Christ. And so it is. So we allow it to be. Amen.
Thank you very much for a wonderful message today. And with that message in mind, let us make this affirmation. I live and move in a never-ending circle of God's love. 2 more times. I live and move in a never-ending circle of God's love. I live and move in a never-ending circle of God's love. Okay, we're going to do the Lord's Prayer in the translation between Jesus' Aramaic and English. And I would like to put this out to you before we do it, as we've done this so many times now, we almost do it by rote. And I would like you to now, when we do it today, listen and read and look at every word that's there and how it differs from what we grew up with. This one brings it into the oneness. The other one prays separation. So this is a prayer of oneness. So together, Father, Mother, birther and breath of all, create a space inside us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire flows through ours as energy fills all forms. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment. Untangle the knots of error that bind us as we release others. Don't let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act appropriately. For age to age, from you comes a glorious harmony of life. May these words be fertile ground from which our future grows. Amen. And so it is. Okay, and we are going to have special music with Rudy called Lift My Body, and Rudy wrote this for us.
Lift my body up to speed into the mystery unfolding here, where the flow of breath will take us into the presence very clear. May the light of love surround us. May the love of God unfold. May the holy, holy, holy bring our hearts back into the whole. May the whole of life surround us with the miracle of life. May the sacred garden guide us through the deepest, darkest night. Are you willing? Will you come along the way? Lift our bodies up to into the presence, into the presence, right here.
Yes. Rudy, thank you. And it is so nice to have Emily and Jane back up on the platform. Thank you. All right. Do we have any newcomers here today for the first time? Nope. Then we will proceed to welcome our online viewers. If you all turn and give a big wave up there to them, let them know we love them. And at this point, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. John, and he is going to do our offering affirmation.
All right, our offering affirmation just went away. There it is. Our offering affirmation: divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am joy-filled and grateful. Thank you, God. And now it's time for our walk of abundance. You can, the online viewers can put their smartphone up to the QR code, which will take them to the website to make a donation that way. Other than that, here locally in the sanctuary, we will do our walk of abundance, where we come up and we put our tithes, our offering, our love, our gratitude into the copper bowl, and then from the wooden bowl, take a affirmation. So please join us in the walk of abundance.
Let's take a moment to bring our prayerful consciousness into the blessing of these offerings. Thank you, loving Spirit, for these gifts, these tithes, these contributions to the community here at Unity New Braunfels. Thank you. Thank you for the giver of these gifts. And thank you for the circulation that we are beginning here right now, that we see these gifts moving through the community, doing their highest good here within the community before they circulate out into the larger world. We see everyone being blessed by these gifts as they circulate wider and wider. Everybody's lives blessed by these gifts. And then we see those gifts returning to us as the givers. We open up to that receptivity, and we know from experience we cannot outgive God. We cannot outgive God. Our good is returning to us right now, pressed down and overflowing 10 times and more. And so we prepare ourselves for the receipt of those gifts in gratitude so that we can do it all again. Thank you, living, loving Spirit, for the gift of prosperity, for the gift of our abundance. For all of this and more, we are ever so grateful. And so we say thank you. Amen.
Again, my name is Steve Cleverly, and it is my honor and privilege to be your prayer chaplain this Sunday. After service, if you desire some prayer needs, I will be down here in the front pew for you.
We have a used book sale going on presently. They're in the shelves to the left as you go out the sanctuary. Please put a love offering of your choice in the basket if you choose one of the books. Thank you.
And there's always new ones going up every week, so don't think you've seen them all. And I do want to remind you that we still have some necklaces out there in the basket that Tim Anderson had made to help raise funds through the UNICEFUSA.org website for relief for Ukraine children.
And Wednesday, this is a reminder that we have a prayer service every Wednesday from 12:15 to 12:45 p.m. here in the sanctuary. And it's a half-hour guided meditation, and there's also a delicious lunch that's provided for a love offering.
And we are still gathering up school supplies for Pack the Bus school supply drive. So when you're at Walmart or Target or H-E-B and you see that aisle that is full of all sorts of very inexpensive school supplies, grab a few, bring them on in, put them in a box.
And today is Potluck Sunday. Hope you all know that. We will be starting the potluck right after the service, and A through L, we're supposed to bring main dishes, J through R, sides and salads, and S through Z, desserts. And we could use some help at the end for the cleanup also. Thank you.
And we are going to be having the pleasure of listening to Rudy, and looks like Emily and Jane also on special music, We Are One by Rudy Hunters.
We are the wheel, we are the turning, we are the lesson, we are the learning, we are the strangers, we are the strange, we are the changers, and we are the change. We're the foundation, we are the walls, no separation between us all. Singing, we are one. We are one. We We are the shade, we are the blessing, and we are the flame. We are the shadow, we are the light. We are the fighters, and we are the fight. We are the farmers, we are the land. Nothing can harm us if we understand. Sing, we are one. Won't you sing it with us? We are one. Won't you feel it with us? We are one together, each and every one of us. We are one. We are one. We are one We are the hammer, we are the nail, we are the jailers, and we are the jail. We are the singers, we are the song, we are the right, and we are the wrong. We are the laughter, we are the tears. We are united in our hopes and fears. You and me, and that slow grouchy clerk at the grocery store, and that dumb old neighbor who lives next door, with a silly little dog that barks all night, and your brother-in-law always picking a fight because he thinks he's right. He doesn't know anything. He watches alternative movies. He might help it. We are one. We are one. We
Beautiful, thank you. At this time, we'd like to thank our online community for joining us. This brings to a close this portion of the service. Again, we love you. We thank you for being here, whether it's today or any time during the week that you tune into us. We do love you, and namaste.